Alright everyone, Vermont's back in the news again for all the wrong reasons. Again, it's just like Phil Scott, the goofy governor, vetoing medical marijuana and making himself the laughing stock of the blue states, which is, I guess, a little bit funny, but it's gonna, people will die in the meantime because they're gonna get shot by a cop for having a doobie, or, they'll have chronic pain, they get raided, or something because they were growing a couple pot plants, because you're going to deal them. If you're growing a pot plant, you must be a dealer or something. Now we've got this shit to deal with, which is that the DMV in Vermont, which uses facial recognition software in accordance with state law to try to keep people from getting duplicate licenses, essentially, from getting multiple licenses, that is. It was unfortunately used to build a database that was then harvested by various agencies in blatant violation of state statutes. That is, we specifically banned them from doing so because the idea was that this is solely relegated. The only use of the facial recognition database is to prevent a person from getting multiple licenses. For various reasons. So it has to do with national security. It certainly has to do with DUI laws and things of that nature. This actually involves DUI, unlike Phil Scott's marijuana veto. Unfortunately, without a warrant at all, they gave Vermonters private information in hundreds of cases, and probably more, probably numbers in the thousands, to various agencies that wanted that info, without even having a warrant, without even, in most cases, having suspicion of some wrongdoing. It was just, hey, we need to pull this person's info. Can you run it for us and send it over? Oh yeah, says the DMV, that's just fine. Who in their right mind thought that it was not going to violate some sort of state law to do that? You need a warrant in order to harvest people's personal info in such a manner. Unless you're living in a police state, which apparently we're devolving into. Now, Phil Scott, in his first moment of doing something sane, since he's taken office, decided to shut the program down. At the very least, give him credit there. Some governors would have said, "Oh, but the program is so important. We're just gonna conduct an investigation. We're gonna keep this going in the meantime." Now he just said, "Stop using the facial recognition software altogether." Now, the DMV apparently can't be trusted with it, and the DMV in Vermont, by the way, is far more efficient and well-liked than in most states. People complain here if you have to wait 10 minutes. In some states, you're waiting 10 fucking hours. You get into line first thing in the morning, you're behind 20, 30 people to get in, and then you sit there for 2 hours, and you go in, they say, "Oh, you've got the wrong form, go out and fill this one out," and then you wait another couple, and then finally you get things done. The Vermont DMV typically does a fairly good job. This is going to be a severe blot on that particular bureau. So, yeah, there was a bit of a violation of privacy going on in the state of Vermont. I wonder if I was on that list. I wonder if someone pulled my info for some federal agency. "Oh, this YouTuber here causing election problems. We need to make sure we build a database or something." God help him if I find out that's the case, because I won't join a class action lawsuit. I'll file my own separate suit. And they won't be settling anytime soon. They're going to get dragged through the muck. No, I would actually have the ability to do that because I can always spout off online. You have to be careful what you say during a legal case, but there are some general things you can say. Like, you can basically tar and feather a state. What are they going to do? The state's going to sue you for defamation? I don't think so. Probably not, though. It does appear that in some cases it must have been related to immigration. Because apparently Hispanics in Vermont, which there are only a few thousand of them probably, considering the demographics of our state. It's 97% white, and it's a state with about 650,000, I think, people now. And that's declined some over the years. Our population dropped off for a while. Now it's finally growing again, especially in Rutland County. Oh, we got gutted by the recession. It was like a ghost town there for a few years. You look at the mall, you'd still think it was a ghost town. Hopefully that's not the first thing people see when they decide to visit, is for tourist reasons. It appears that they were 14 times more likely, if they were Hispanic, to get sort of profiled under the system and have their data mined by some federal agency. And that black Vermonters, which are just as rare, again, because we're more or less homogenous, were, I think, 8 times or 10 times more likely. So that's why that's the only reason the ACLU got involved. You know, if it had been across the board, if it had been even Stevens and it was just a violation of the Fourth Amendment, an egregious one, they probably wouldn't have even cared. Because there appears to be a racial differential. That's the only reason that they decided to expose this program. But in any case, at least it got exposed because it shouldn't be going on. Our state statutes explicitly ban this behavior. You know, the state government itself makes a rule against doing such a thing, and then some bureau decides to break that law anyway. It's not a good place to be. It's not great for the Vermont reputation to have this going on, because usually we're seen as the where the fuck is Vermont state, or the oh aren't you that stretch of mountains and farms between New York City and Montreal state, or something like that. That's basically what we're known as. We're the maple syrup capital, and not much else. Maple syrup, cows, and a lake. That's what Vermont is to a lot of people, if they even know it exists in the first place. Like, more people know about Delaware, you know, is small and insignificant other than for corporatism, as it may be. More people know where Delaware is on a map, or something, or Rhode Island, or something like that than Vermont. We're like the last in line when it comes to recognition. But those that actually come here, they expect, like, small town America, rural, farms and shit. Not, you know, some fucking police state shit. That's about all. Peace out.